Hi, my name is Lorena. I'm a spiritual life coach and a breathwork teacher, and I'm primarily focused on Neville Goddard's teachings. And I'm here to help you shift your state of being and recreate your reality. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, please check out the description box below for more information. And if you like this video, I would love it if you subscribed. I would love to have you, and you'll get videos every week. Today's video is inspired by a post I did on Instagram a while ago, where I pointed out some common manifestation mistakes or some reasons why your manifestation may not have unfolded yet. This is especially important if it's been something that you've been working on for a really long time. And this video is not to criticize you or to blame you, but just to offer some perspective and to maybe tell you where you can go from here, which little shifts you can maybe make. So today I'm going to give you 6 possible reasons for why your manifestation may not be here yet and how you can make those tiny shifts and changes. And I'm sure you can relate to at least 1 or 2 of these reasons, because I sure can. Most of the time, whenever I'm consciously manifesting anything, specifically things that are very important to me or that I have a lot of emotional attachment to, it's usually one of these 6 things that are holding me back. Reason number 1, you do not feel worthy of receiving it. So if you do not feel worthy of having whatever you want or receiving or experiencing whatever you want, then on some level you will not feel like it's possible for you. You will not let it in. So the way to process and transcend this is to figure out why you don't feel worthy of it. Is it maybe something that happened in the past, or something that somebody told you that you just accepted as truth, or something that you've been observing in your own life or in others' lives, or maybe it's just one of your patterns that's been repeating over and over again, or you may have certain beliefs about what kind of people can get a certain thing and what kind of people don't, or what needs to happen or what you have to do for things to shift or for you to deserve it. Whatever it is, or it may be multiple things, start sitting with your reasons for not feeling worthy of it, for not feeling like it's possible, for not feeling like you deserve it, and start questioning those reasons. Like, why should you not be worthy and deserving of what you want? Why can other people get certain things but you can't? Why would that be? Really start doubting and questioning it, because self-worth is such an important component of manifestation, especially for the things that you may have more emotional attachment to and that appear bigger for you. And this is also very much related to reason number 2, which is your self-concept is not in alignment with the fulfillment of your desire. So this means that you simply cannot see and perceive yourself as the version of you that already has this desire. I recommend you check out my video on self-concept for more details on what your self-concept or self-image is and how you can change it. But if you can't see yourself as the version that already has what you want at all, and it doesn't need to be a fully fledged belief, it can just be seeing that as a possibility, then how do you want to step into that? How do you want to live from that state? How do you want to operate from that self-concept? As within, so without. It starts from the inside out, not the other way around. First, you become the person, and then the outside shifts. So there will most likely be a period where the external reality will not reflect your desire. You need to be okay with that and hold the vision anyway. Be that person anyway. Persist anyway. The good news is that if you have that desire in the first place, this means that this version of you does exist. Because otherwise you wouldn't have the desire. If you didn't have even a tiny feeling of this is what it would feel like, you wouldn't want it. If that is the case, you are able to feel into it. You are able to tap into it, even when sometimes it doesn't feel like that. And this is not to pretend you are somebody who you're not. This is not to pretend you live in denial. It's just to ask yourself, who would you be if this was your reality? How would you operate in life? How would you walk through life? How would you talk? How would you think? How would you speak to others? how would you feel? Which brings me to reason number 3, you're not okay without it. This one may seem a little counterintuitive because, yeah, you want to hold the vision for what you want. You don't want to stay in the reality that you're in. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to manifest something new. But you also don't want to rely on external circumstances changing in order for you to be happy, content, and satisfied with your life. I once worked with an astrologer who said to me, it's okay to want validation, but you shouldn't need it. And I believe this applies to all of your desires. It's okay to want them. And in fact, it's amazing that you want them. And that means they're possible for you, but you shouldn't need it. You should be happy nonetheless. You should find joy in your life nonetheless. You should be okay, even if it didn't happen. Because the thing is, as long as you keep seeking externally for something that fulfills you, you will keep seeking. Being in a state of waiting means more waiting. Being in a state of seeking means more seeking. The goal is to be okay with no matter what, even if it didn't unfold, but to hold the vision for the thing that you want even more than you are living in your old reality. And it's a fine line. If you're not okay in the process, if you're not okay in the unfolding, you're resisting your circumstances, and what you resist persists. Number 4, you keep doing, and doing instead of just being. So this one is very closely related to last week's video, which was all about allowing and receiving. I'll link it below if you haven't seen this one. So this drive for productivity and to constantly be doing often comes from a fear of uncertainty, a fear of failure, sometimes even a fear of success, a fear of change, or a fear of losing control. And that is often rooted in the belief that what we want is not possible. So because of that, we subconsciously then cling on to the thing we don't want, which is how things are, because if we just relax, we don't feel safe. This is all connected to a fear of it not happening because we fear that if we just relax and just be, and we don't actively push and do and try, then it won't happen. Many of us have learned that we need to be productive in order to be successful, that things don't just come easily. So it feels foreign to us to do that. It feels foreign to us to not lift a finger and to just trust and let things unfold. But the more you surrender, the more you allow yourself to just be, the more you relax, the more you release the resistance, the easier it will be. Often the quicker it will come and show up. Reason number 5 is one that may trigger some people, but I need to be honest here. You are not feeling the emotions and sitting with the fears attached to it not happening. This one has been really big for me personally and also for my clients. And I think the reason this is often not mentioned in the manifestation community is because there's this misconception that you're not allowed to feel certain emotions, that you're not allowed to be in a negative state of being, that you're not allowed to feel into not having it because of this fear of manifesting what you don't want. So what then happens is, instead of looking at your fears and accepting that they are there, they get pushed down, they get rejected, they get suppressed, they get denied. But I'm here to tell you, feeling an emotion and acknowledging your fear does not make it manifest. It doesn't. I'm speaking from a lot of experience here. I tried to push my fears down and to ignore them, and they just got bigger. Because often when you're resisting a certain emotion or fear and you just push it further down into your subconscious, then it gets bigger because it's still there. You're just ignoring it, but it's still there. It doesn't just go away. You push it further down. As I said earlier, what you resist persists. So the more you're fighting your emotions or your circumstances, the more they stay. It's not about fighting your current reality. It's not about fighting your emotions. It's about accepting all of this and consciously choosing differently. So what has been very powerful in my own journey and also in my clients' journeys is actively and consciously looking at the fear of what if it doesn't happen and facing that fear, because the only thing you really fear is fear itself. So if you actively and consciously sit with that fear, the next time it shows up, it's not as big anymore. Let's say you have a fear of rejection and you really sit with and accept the fear of rejection, you won't be as afraid of rejection anymore. And by you losing that fear of rejection, it will slowly leave your consciousness. So facing it actually makes it go away in a more direct way than if you were to ignore it and suppress it, because it would still be there if you suppressed it. It would just be in your subconscious and get pushed out into the world, into your reality, and in that way your emotions and your fears would also control you and have power over you rather than the other way around. But if you face it, if you look at it, if you allow yourself to just let it be there and to consciously choose a different preference instead, you can accept it. It doesn't have power over you anymore. It only has power over you for as long as you fight it. And now you have power over your emotions and over your fears instead. And reason number 6 for why you may not have your manifestation yet, why it may not be here yet, is you are constantly thinking that you're doing something wrong. So this is a bit of a loaded one because in a way this makes the whole video a bit redundant, but this is honestly the biggest reason. Because if you clicked on this video title, or even more so if you searched for this specific search term and that's how you landed here, then this reason is probably for you. The only thing you can really do wrong is to think you're doing something wrong. So you may think, why did you say all the other reasons? Are they not just redundant then? But no, they are all accurate. Those things can hold you back. However, if you stop thinking you're doing something wrong, if you trust yourself and you allow yourself to make mistakes and you let that be okay, if you don't fear failing, if you stop thinking you're doing something wrong, if you don't always question and doubt yourself and you love yourself, then all of these other points that I mentioned that could hold you back, that could be the reasons for your manifestation not having unfolded yet, they usually fall into place by themselves because you're not judging yourself, which makes it a lot easier and a lot more natural to shift. But if you consistently think you're doing something wrong, if you constantly worry about the mistakes that you may be making, if you constantly doubt yourself, then that's what you're doing wrong. Because if you fear that you're doing something wrong, or you believe that you already are, then how can you believe that your desire is done? How can you then even believe it's possible? How can you then believe in your inherent worthiness? Because if you don't trust yourself and if you continuously think you're doing something wrong, then on some level, subconsciously, you're probably telling yourself, something is wrong with me. And let me tell you, nothing is wrong with you. You can let this be easy. Stop thinking you're doing something wrong. Please let me know which one of these, if any, resonated with you, or maybe if there's something you disagree with. And also leave me a comment below, giving me new suggestions for video topics so I can create what you want to see and hear and learn. I wish you a beautiful day or night, and I'll see you next time.